Hey everyone, it's Kerry, and today I want to talk tires. And this is basically going to be a 2-year review of the Nitto Trail Grapplers. I picked these up July 15th, 2 years ago. It is now mid-July here in 2024, and it's time to replace them. So I want to talk about what I used before, why I switched, my impressions of these, and a little bit about what the future holds. So originally I ran Milestar Patagonia MTs. I ran 3 sets of them. They each lasted 1 year, and at 20,000 miles, they were done. They were completely trashed, and it was time to replace them. Now, early on, the Patagonias were a pretty good deal. They were cheaper. You could basically afford to do them every year. It wasn't that big of a deal. But as prices went up, it became not so good of a deal. When you're talking $450 a tire, it gets expensive to replace all 5 tires. Versus the Nitto Trail Grapplers, which quite a bit more expensive in the 600 and change range, very expensive to replace all 5 tires, but they have now lasted 2 years, and these tires on here currently have just over 39,000 miles on them. I could probably still put another 1,500 miles on them without any problem. I'd take them on a trail today, not even worry about it. But it's time to go ahead and replace them. They're getting a little worn. There's not a lot of tread left. And as they start getting worn down, they're starting to get chunks taken out of them. And I'll show you some close-ups of that so you can see the condition they're in. Now, I've been very, very good about maintaining the tires. Every 5,000 miles, I do an oil change, I rotate the tires. Every other oil change, I balance and rotate the tires, keeping them in as good a shape as possible. If I notice any vibrations on the road or any excessive noise, I go and I have them rebalanced. Since I use Discount Tire, it doesn't cost me anything. They're very, very good about that. So let's go back to the Patagonias for just a moment. I never had a complaint about the Patagonias other than the wear. I ran them summer, I ran them winter. Here in Colorado, we did snow wheeling. I never had a complaint about the Patagonia MTs other than how fast they wore out. Other people, say what you want, love them, hate them, don't really matter to me. I know from my experience that there was never an obstacle that I came upon that other people could do, but I couldn't because of my tires. So I had no complaints about the MTs. However, now 2 years into the Nitto Trail Grapplers, and I have been super happy with these tires. They air down nicely, they've ridden nice, they've worn consistently. They have been a fantastic tire. Kind of a difference between the Patagonias and the Nittos. The Nittos weigh 8 pounds a piece more. Now that's going to affect little things, things in a small fashion. It's going to affect some gas mileage. It's going to affect your performance. It's more weight that has to get moving. It's rotating weight. It's not sprung weight, it's unsprung weight. You could end up in a situation where the extra weight causes you a problem. If you spin the tires on a surface and they grab traction all of a sudden, that extra weight could contribute to things like gear breakage. Now, I haven't had a problem with that, hasn't been an issue, but just know that they are 8 pounds a piece more than the Patagonias. Still, we have taken these through Arizona, through Oregon, through Utah, through Colorado. They have been all over, highway miles, off-road miles, sand, mud, snow, rocks, you name it, the slick rock of Utah. They have performed excellent. I have been more than happy with the tires. However, they're not my next tire. And the reason for it purely is financial. This year, we've had a lot of repairs that had to be done on the Jeep. we had power steering issues, we had coolant issues, we had to replace the engine. Now we have a trailer problem that with the suspension, that's got to get fixed. So it's just been a very expensive year, and to spend the money on the Nittos this year just was a big hit to the pocketbook. So we are going to do something a little different, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. But this one was all about the Trail Grapplers, the reason I switched to them, how happy I've been with them, how well they've performed, how long they've lasted. And if you're looking to get a top-notch set of tires, I really cannot recommend the Nitto Trail Grapplers any higher. Now, again, I'll walk you around, I'll show you some of the damage on the tires, and most of this has happened more recently. And it's as the tires have worn down and they've gotten older, they've gone through a bajillion heat cycles. I mean, here in Colorado, today it's 100 degrees out here right now, and in the winter it can be minus 15 degrees. So huge variations in temperature and conditions that we've driven in. And only more recently have we started seeing these chunks being taken out of the treads. And it's on all the tires, and you can see they're pretty worn down at the moment. So here's the front tire, our front driver side. You can see there's just chunks taken out. Again, this has happened mostly recently. Here we've got some chunks taken out of the tire here, some damage here, some damage here, some cracking. Again, not much tread left on the tires here. We'll go around, see if we can see anything over here. This one's pretty worn down. Again, we have some chunks taken out. There's a nice chunk. There's a nice chunk. Again, I'm not knocking on the Trail Grapplers for this damage. At 40,000 miles, and as much as we abuse the tires, this is actually pretty impressive that they have held up this good. Here's a chunk on this tire. There's a little piece chunk there. So considering the level of abuse that we put the tires through, I mean, we wheel constantly. We're out almost every weekend, and they have, like I said, they've held up extremely well. I show you the damage just so you can see kind of what to expect when you're starting to push these high miles on the tire. Like I said, I'm just shy of 40,000 miles on these, which I think for an MT type tire that is used off-road primarily, I mean, we do drive to and from the trail, we don't trailer it, but there's the highway miles to get to and from the trails, but it is on trails all the time. Super sharp rocks to, you know, slick rock in Utah to, you know, super hot conditions with sharp rocks in Arizona. They have lasted and held up, I would say, as good as I had hoped for. I was hoping for 2 years. I was hoping to get through this. It turned out to be right around 40,000 miles. So very, very happy with them. So that is my 2-year review of the Nitto Trail Grapplers. Again, not knocking Nitto at all, but I could not make a deal with the Nitto to get new tires, and it just wasn't really in the budget to pay this much money for another set. But watch for the next video where I get new tires put on this thing. Tires I haven't exactly ran before or know anybody that is actually using them. It's going to be interesting to see how those new tires perform. So check it out. Subscribe so you don't miss that video. Thanks for watching, everybody. From Katerina and myself, stay safe out there. We'll see you on the trails with some new rubber soon. Thanks for watching.